Hey my fellow Follicle Frontiersmen, it's DJ from Keratin Brotherhood. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys how to apply hair fibers with super short hair, like this. Like a buzz cut hair, or even if you're balding or really thin. Like for example, in my back area here, you can see it's very thin here. If you guys have longer hair, I'll go ahead and link a video that I already made about how to apply hair fibers if you have longer hair. I'll go ahead and link that here for you, or here. I always forget which side it is. It's one of these sides. Now, the reason why I'm making a separate video is because another creator actually mentioned me. She tagged me in her video. They were trying to apply hair fibers on their father, who was very thin on the top. His hair was very short like this, and he had pretty severe thinning in the center of his head and also in the crown area back here. Now, for buzz cut hair, you don't want to use a pomade. And the reason why I say you don't want to use a pomade is because the pomade, it's just too thick. Oil pomade on this type of short hair, or even if you're just almost bald, it's not going to work well because it's just going to make your head too gummy. Okay, and if you've seen my other video, you know that gumminess, it can be helpful to keep the fibers stuck on your head, but if it's too gummy, what ends up happening is you get like dark patches where the hair fibers just kind of fall on your head and they clump up. You don't want that because that's not going to look very smooth. And so in today's video, what I'm going to be using is just a light oil. I'm using jojoba oil here. The brand doesn't matter, guys. Jojoba oil works really well. You can go with the sweet almond oil, although that's a bit more viscous, so it is stickier. You can go with something like argan oil. Argan oil is really good, but it tends to dry out faster. And I find that castor oil is just too sticky. You don't want to use those oils for this application technique because it's just not going to work very well. Okay, you want a nice balance between an oil that's going to hold the fibers in place and something that's not going to make your head look like a shiny disco ball. So what I taught in the other video is that when you're going to apply the hair fibers, you're going to take the hair fibers like this and you're not going to shake them on the top of your head like that. You don't want to do that, especially with the oil product, because like I mentioned in that video, if you do this, you're just going to fall on that one spot. And then you got just this thick black spot that you have to either brush off, try to spread out the fibers and disperse them, or you need to just wipe it off altogether, wash it off, and start over. It's time consuming. Don't shake on hair fibers like this if you have longer hair, okay? But if you have short hair like this, you're not going to do the tap and pull method that I recommend other people using, because again, if you're tapping and pulling, the point is to push the hair fibers in between hair follicles. But if there's no hair, look how short it is. There's nothing to go between. If you do this, you're gonna end up with big black spots. And this is what happened in that video for the girls that mentioned me in their videos. Their father just ended up getting clumps on the top of his head. I think this method is a bit more efficient and it takes less time. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take the bottle like this, and what's gonna end up happening is the fibers are gonna fall straight into the top here. So initially you might get that dump of fibers when you first push it. In that case, you wanna hold the fiber bottle higher, and that way they'll fall like in a spread out fashion, and they'll probably fall over the floor and all your clothes. You just have to clean that up. Okay, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your finger and just gonna tap the top. Now this isn't a revolutionary technique, guys. And also in the video, I recommended that you wear a wave cap or a do-rag to let your hair lay down. Obviously, that's irrelevant for this video, so we're just gonna toss. Okay, first, go ahead and put your oil product in. I'm using about a quarter size amount in my palm. All right, just gonna go ahead and put that in. Just make sure you got it spread out, Yo, it's been so long since my hair's been this short, dude. I think the last time my hair was this short was right after my hair transplant back in 2014. So this is it's weird. All right, so I'm gonna be looking at myself in the mirror here, so just ignore the fact that I'm ignoring you. So the top and the front, if you got any remnants of a hairline or something like that, it's really easy. All right, like I said, you're gonna get that initial dump. See, they dumped out right there, okay? So you just go ahead and spread that out. And then you're just gonna tap. See how the hair fibers kind of fall? Now, I generally tell people not to do this with longer hair, simply because that you don't want to breathe in these hair fibers, With this type of short hair, you don't really have a choice. So just be careful. So just be careful not to breathe in the hair fibers, okay? And I'm just gonna tap with my finger on the top here. If I get too close like this, and I tap, see how it drops that big black spot? Okay, that's not what we want. Now, if you're really thin, okay, like I am on my crown, you gotta be really careful with this part here because it can just turn to shit real quickly, okay? I'm gonna move this light around because I can't see. Now on the hairline, the hairline, you're not gonna wanna hold it up here and tap like that because it's just completely inaccurate and it's gonna land right in your eyes. You're gonna breathe it in. Don't do that. Just tap it here on your hairline. Light taps, okay? Not heavy taps because you're gonna end up with a big black spot. All right, light taps right here on the hairline. Just follow the shape of your hairline. You can see it coming right there, see it? You'll notice I got this thin spot right here on the side where I may have brushed with my hand, okay? You don't wanna shake into that spot because what's gonna end up happening is you're just gonna end up covering it, right? But then the surrounding areas is gonna be too dense, okay? The same method you use for your hairline, just use it in that one spot. All right, again, controlled taps, guys. Be very controlled with your taps. And you know here, if you wanna blend it in for a bit more of a faded look. Now, one of the pitfalls about having really short hair, as you guys who have short hair probably already know, is you can't really touch your hair fibers too much, okay? This is why I say be very careful when you apply. So if you take a look here, I've gone ahead and I've rubbed this one spot here like this, and you see that the hair fibers kind of have erased from the area, right? Unfortunately, that's unavoidable, guys, okay? There's nothing for the hair fibers to hold on to. We're basically painting on an empty canvas, okay, for lack of a better description. The front, because I have hair here, it's okay if I do this to an extent, but even if I do it too much, you'll see it starts like rubbing off in that area, right? This works way better than no oil product at all. Trust me on this, okay? There was another YouTuber who just had like zero hair and just tapped on hair fibers with no oil, no pomade, no nothing. And he's brave. Like I wouldn't have the confidence to go out like that with nothing, because at least they're being held on with the oil, right? But if you apply some like physical friction, they're gonna erase, they're gonna come off. Now, in terms of the hairline, I've mentioned it before, I don't ever rock a really crisp hairline anyway with hair fibers. You just wanna look natural, guys. If your hair is like cut low, sometimes it just looks better not to have that super, you know, crazy looking hairline with the right angles and stuff, because that's when you start looking unnatural. Okay, and if you end up brushing up against something and it ends up erasing, like, for example, if I just push my hand out right here and I erase that one section, you know, you gotta walk around the rest of the day with this super crisp hairline and then somebody gobbed out a section of your head. You know, just kind of this rough hairline just works better for me, okay? Especially if you're rocking the crew cut. All right, I know some of you are already asking about the scar. Yeah, I had a hair transplant, guys. That's literally what my whole channel started as, about hair transplants, okay? So don't jump in my comments talking about the scar. Everybody on my channel knows about the hair transplant. If it's your first time here, I welcome you. Go check out the old videos. You can learn about my transplant. Eyebrow pen. And I know some of you are gonna be talking about SMP in the comment section. Guys, I've been around this like 100 times already. I'm not gonna get SMP, not anytime soon. It's just not high on my list of priorities. You know, I got a daughter I'm raising, you know, I got, you know, some entrepreneurship things I'm working on. There's other things going on in my life right now, but I know there's some of you who are considering SMP. And to you, man, go for it, you know? Actually, I interviewed an SMP artist. I'll go and link that up here as well. You can watch that video if you have lots of questions about how SMP works, how long it works for, how much it costs. All those questions are answered in the interview, so check out that video, okay? Again, we're gonna ignore the really thick and thin spots because I'm not trying to show you guys perfection. I'm trying to show you guys the reality. Okay, so a couple of points to mention here. First, if you have really, really short hair, like my hair is cut right now, and you're applying hair fibers, pomade or oil product, you must use it, okay? If you're a black guy, use oil product. If you're a white guy, try an oil product. I don't know how it's gonna affect your hair, but at least for black guys, please use an oil product, because if you don't, you're really playing with fire, man. Like literally one drop of water is gonna wash off the hair fibers. Water and oil, they don't mix. So you have something for the hair fibers to really cling to, and then over the course of the day, your natural oils and the oil you apply to your hair will start to mix with the hair fiber itself, and then it kind of creates like a bond, and then it protects the hair fiber. Now, on the other hand, because your hair is so short like this, you can't defy physics, guys. There's nothing for the hair fibers to really hold on to, especially if you're applying it to pretty much bald skin. Don't go in the rain, okay? If you have longer hair and you apply the hair fibers like I showed you in that first video that I mentioned earlier in the video, you can go in the rain just fine, okay? I mean, obviously you're not gonna be doing like La La Land type dancing in the rain shit, but you can still, you know, run to your car, run to the restaurant, you know, without a hat on, you're good to go. However, if I try to apply water to my head right now, it just comes straight off, okay? It just comes straight off. And that's just an unfortunate reality, okay? So please avoid water if you're like putting these hair fibers on short hair. Another thing too, again, like I mentioned, don't breathe in the hair fibers. They're gonna be flying in the air. I generally don't recommend shaking it on, but for this type of hair, you have no choice. Third, less is more, guys. I just saw myself in the mirror. Oh shit, dude. Just go ahead and take it all off. Less is more, okay? Less is more. What I mean to say, if you start getting too heavy-handed with these hair fibers, it's gonna look like you got hair fibers in, okay? You don't want that. Again, you see how short my hair is right now, okay? This is all me here. But you can see there's that shadow, you know, where my hair transplant and things like that, and then you got like the normal hair growth, there's that shadow. You don't want it's really hard to try to build a fade, okay? You don't want to build a bald fade onto your head with hair fibers, okay? So you're just gonna be there all day, and like I said, you risk bumping up against things and then it brushes off and you end up looking like a hot mess. Apply just enough for the hair fibers to give you that coverage, and just go with the even all the way around. It's easier that way. Keep the lining natural. You don't want to try to create a razor lining. Yeah, you can get the credit card and do all this there. You can get the spray bottle and do all that there. But again, guys, you're playing with fire, okay? All it takes is one slip up, one mistake, all right? And if you're one of those guys who don't want people to know you're wearing hair fibers, you're gonna have a bad time, okay? So avoid that. And lastly, when it comes to actually choosing the color for your hair fibers, today I didn't use black. In my first video, I used black hair fibers. Today, I actually used dark brown. And the reason why is because black, if you apply black to really thin hair like this, it's gonna look super weird. It's got like a grayish hue to it. And then it just looks dull. It doesn't shine. Light hits your scalp, and your scalp is not fucking jet black. It's not gray. So you don't wanna put jet black on top of your head. Go with the dark brown. I guarantee you'll get better results, okay? And if you have a scar like I do, use an eyebrow pen. You can conceal your scar pretty easily. Unlike the hair fibers, you don't have to worry about the eyebrow pen like running off in the rain or in the shower. It'll stay on until you actually physically wipe it off. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I am so sorry I lost touch about what it felt like to have super, short hair like this. It's been so long, I've been doing finasteride and minoxidil, my hair gets longer. Look at the upside though. A lot of us are still working from home and you don't have to actually go out in public, which means that you have a lot of time to practice, trying out hair fiber techniques. Find out what works for you. Drop it in the comments down below if you found something that works best for you. Tell us what your race is, what your ethnicity is, what kind of hair grade you have, how long it is, are you completely bald? And drop the tips down below because they're really helpful for everybody who's trying to learn how to put hair fibers in. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. My name is DJ from Keratin Brotherhood. I'll see you in the next video.